Hi, guys. Hi. Yes. Whoops. You are. Hello. Kind of a crazy couple of days. I am here. Welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I'm Nikki. Kind of in my long sleeve winter stuff right now. Welcome. Tonight, oh my. All right. Well, I tried. It's all right. It's not the best. Anyway, it's been one of those crazy nights, folks. Anyhow, so tonight, like I said, I'm Nikki Jacobs. I'm dealing with Restore Belief. I feel underdressed when you show up with your makeup. Now I'll have to go put makeup on too. That's funny. Hello, Para. Yeah, I don't wear the eye thing very often. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll try it. But in lighting, I need to do it with that lighting on. Anyway, so tonight is going to be about discussing all different kinds of species, races of ET. I do not know the breed, type, whatever the hell you want to call them. But I can describe them. There are some that I do know. Names of some I really don't. Okay, which side is it? Yeah, it's this one. All right. So that's where we're going to hit on tonight. If you have questions, please put them in the chat or in the underneath the description box. If you're listening to the replay, okay, I gotta have a swig of this. Hang on a second. I've also got a situation with somebody I need to check on. So anyhow, I thought we were supposed to be talking about, apparently I didn't do it right, but I'm glad I looked. I'm glad I double checked. So tonight is about ETs and not spirituality, which I'm kind of relieved on because a lot has taken place, especially in the last 12, 24 hours. And if you hear my stomach, I apologize. My stomach is growling. I'm not really hungry. It's just kind of one of those things. Okay, so that's what I wanted. I wanted to check on somebody because they had a very serious situation today. And I thought I would have time before I started this, and apparently I did not. So, anyhow, so races and beings of ET. My teeth look yellow. They're not yellow in real life. Good God. Sorry. So the different races that are species that I have dealt with, something came up in a chat in the last 24 hours that really had me upset. It's a chat that I'm a moderator in, and it only upset me because it triggered me. It wasn't what anybody said. It was completely, get off my screen. There we go. It was completely what I have experienced, and I have pushed some of the memories down because they are not nice. Excuse me. And I was starting to have a reaction because of it. So that said, here we go. That specific species, race, is, I know it as a draconian, that a Draco, that is a part reptilian. So it's some kind of hybrid. That's how I know it as. Close to or over 9 feet tall. I'm very good at estimations with feet, the amount of height and not so much on weight, but definitely on height, measurements and things like that. I've always been that way. So somewhere close to 9 feet and over 9 feet. There's two that I specifically remember. One had a gigantic bulbous head, and I am talking about this because I need to push through it. I need to, well, push through is not the right way, but anytime I delve really deep into that specific memory, I do not want to remember the actual memory, but I can describe them and not have the horrible trigger with it. So hopefully, which is one of the reasons why I know there's an underwater base off of in the Puget Sound, in this, I think it's the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Anyway, off of Whidbey Island, Washington. For those that don't know, I'm in Washington State. I'm outside of Seattle. I know Washington pretty well. And anytime I'm at a very specific park and I go to one section, I'm okay. Go to the middle section. When I'm looking and turning my body, I'm not okay. I get violently ill. And I turn to my left and I'm okay. Now, that said, when I say I get violently ill, I am to the point to where I'm almost projectile vomiting. It's that bad. I start shaking. There's a bunch of physical reactions, and it's because of really not liking this specific species, race of ET, because they are so detrimental. Now, I know people who've had very good experiences with them. These are the ones that are working with the U.S. government. I know they are. I've witnessed them. And it's one of the reasons why I get violently ill. They are telepathic and they like to be very, very freaking wicked. Really mind-bendingly wicked. They have no problem in being unethical in any way, shape, or form. They have no problem in it. They have no problems with certain things and doing things to humans. I have great issue with that. Completely different ballgame with other ETs, other species and races I've experienced. Completely different ballgame. I know some that are, I wouldn't necessarily call them benevolent, but I personally know, well, there are some that I take that back. Sorry, I was just had a flashback of a meeting that I was at. Excellent question, Para. Para just said in the chat, so they are making you ill, or the trauma from the memory is making you ill, kind of a PTSD-ish. It's a complex. It's a CPTSD. Part of it is because of what I experienced, and the other part of it is that when I put out, I didn't even know that I was doing it at the time, put out what I would only classify as a psychic feeler, and it's bad. You do not want to connect to these MFers by any stretch of the imagination. And quite honestly, I did not remember. I don't want to say I don't, but I didn't remember that they were there. I didn't remember that they were on Earth at that time, and that was how I found out the real hard way. There was another abductee at the time who's extremely public now about their information. I'm not naming them because I personally know them. I'm not going to do that to that person, but they were at the park at the time. We were at a Skywatch, and ended up asking that person, when you're about to be abducted, this is specifically what it feels like? And they responded yes, for them. but it was by a specific race, a species of ET. Now, that all said, there's two kinds that I remember that are the Dracos, reptilian. They are, like I started to talk about, they are way over 8 feet, very possibly over 9. They have a gigantic bulbous head. They are huge in muscle. The hands and feet are they've got, all I could classify it as claws. They are wicked. Now, I have seen others in passing, not that I've actually dealt with them, but in passing, where they did not have claws. I don't even know how to describe their hands. It was strange. Mostly because I don't want to focus on it. When I start focusing on it, I start getting ill because of so many negativities. Now, that all said, apparently I'm going to be saying that a lot. That all said, quote unquote, for whatever reason right now. It's just how my brain is operating tonight. Gigantic bulbous head. One of them had a ridge down the top. The other kind has two ridges going this way. Huge, huge, huge head. Very, very short neck. Gigantic muscles off what I can only classify as shoulders. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 feet. Green undertone with brown skin. It's kind of like well, it depends. I've seen ones with brown. I've seen ones, oh God, we get into so many descriptions. But that's what tonight is all about. Brown. I've seen ones with a tawny brown, like a beigey light brown. I've seen ones, and this is all the Dracos. Well, at least the ones that I've seen anyway. What else? The green is, with some of them, seems to be the undercurrent of them. I can't get beyond that. Teeth, both of them. Okay, I can't focus. If I focus, I'm going to start losing my mind. Bawling, crying, that kind of uncontrollable shit. So I'm not going to do that. So, because I really pushed myself earlier in the week, and that was really freaking bad. So razor sharp teeth, some with points, some flat, but they're super sharp. Okay. Just had a flashback. Nope, not going there. Nope. Not going there. Off to a different one. I've seen ones that I've talked about. They've got like a great big ear flap. I don't know what else. I've never known what else to call it, but it's how they specifically breathe. It reminds me, you know how butterfly wing is, where you get this and then it comes in? Well, they don't have a come in section. It just keeps, it's like a wing, with scalloped edges, wide scalloped edges. And the flaps, they open up. So it's like this. And to breathe, you barely even see it. It's very mild. You don't even really notice it until they go, and then, whoa, it's like, hello, you're there. 3 eyes. They've got 3 eyes. Not like a cyclops. 2 eyes on one side of the bridge of the nose and 1 eye on the other side. Small nose. Really tiny lips. I don't remember teeth. I know this ET talked to me. but she talked to me telepathically. She was leaning up against a counter. And I just think that I'm probably not going to say where I saw her, because I think that's for my own safety issue. And no, it was not on Earth. I'm trying to think of how tall she was. She was over 6 feet, possibly slightly over 7, maybe. So there's that. Now, the grays I've seen all kinds of grays. I've seen 3 foot to the 7 foot tall, what I call the tall whites. And as somebody else called them powdery white, I'm like, yeah, that would classify some of them. That would definitely show or describe some of them. What else? There's so many versions of the grays that I've seen. I've never, and there's clones of the grays. There's also clones of Arcturians I know about. They're mixed somehow with the Arcturians with a gray. They are clones. I've seen those. Typically, those are the Nursemaids. The Nursemaids were of the children. This regards the hybridization program. Boy, I want to talk about something and I can't because it's somebody else's information, even though they made it public in a very public way, but I'm not going to do that. There's something that came about that just absolutely shocked me because I'd never heard of it on a child before. Certain marks on a very young child. So take notice of your children. See if they've got specific marks on them. Do they have triangles of any kind? Do they have scoop marks? Medical community should be looking for this too. Because it's a big deal. It's one of very easily defined ways to figure out. And those marks don't always last on the skin, just an FYI. Some of them do, some of them don't. Most don't. Usually they're gone within a few hours to 12, 18 hours, all the way to a couple of days. It just depends on how significant the mark is. Is it a burn mark type of mark? Is it what I call an ET tramp stamp? Because that's what they remind me of. And it's weird because I don't think of tattoos as tramp stamps. So please forgive me if you've got a tattoo. I love tattoos. Are you kidding me? Hey, Christine. It's okay. You're 19 minutes. Don't worry about it. See, that's what I don't know, Para. Para just said, I have heard UV blacklight can sometimes reveal them. That's what I want to try. I want it because I've got so many different triangles on me or had on me, and most of them have disappeared. There's a couple that haven't. Not to be mistaken with an ET teacher. Christine just said my aunt got a tramp stamp on her low back, aka a lower back tattoo after her divorce. Laugh out loud, not to be mistaken with an ET tramp stamp. Yeah, that's why they remind me of, it's just very, I don't know, the term is stuck in my head and I can't figure out why, because I don't personally consider, or at least I've thought I never did, consider butt tattoos to be tramp stamps, but no pun intended. It just really surprises me. I mean, it was the first first words out of my mouth when I had the triangle that is, no, you can't even see it on my thumb. What you do the thumb? Right. Okay, gotta look at the thumb. It was right here, if I remember correctly. And you couldn't even see it. And, well, you could then, but you can't now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, I think I got it to show up. Yeah, I did. It's right. Holy shit, I have a surgery mark underneath it. I have never had surgery there. Okay, I don't know if you can be able to see this. Okay, here's, hang on a second, guys. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, can you see this? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna underline, if it'll allow me. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so just above that mark, I don't know if you can see it though. No, you can't see it. There's a surgery mark. There's a white line. I've never had surgery there. Never. I can show you every one of my medical, I've never had anything there. And just above that, let's see if I can. Just above that, okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, within that mark is a triangle that I considered a tramp stamp, and you can't quite see it, but I'm gonna have to take a picture of that again tonight because I'm so stunned that I can even see that. I don't know where the hell that surgery mark came from. I have not a damn clue. Okay, two of my favorite peeps are here, you and Nikki. I have seen other triangle-shaped dots too. Yeah, I've got dots all over the frickin' place that are tattoos, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? I have an inner arm. No, of course, now you can't see it. But then, of course, I've got this one where they did a skin graft. So, a straight edge skin graft from an ET surgery? Yes, from an ET surgery. Because I've never had surgery on that part of my wrist. Never. Never, never, never. I had carpal tunnel by a human doctor. I've talked about that repeatedly, going across here. And then the ETs the following year did one here. Which is weird because I never had a stamp or a dots on this hand that I've ever remembered. Ever. I just find that interesting. So check. If you're a medical practitioner or you know of these things, keep an eye out for them. Take note of them because there's millions of, I'm not joking when I say millions, there are millions of us. I truly and honest to God believe that for a wide range of reasons. Oh, what an excellent question, Para. I have to, okay, so Paris says, I have to wonder if they ever put like a signature on a human body, like signing a painting or work of art. And he says, I would, and then wink. Yeah, I understand that. Not a clue. I can't say that. Something just rolled through my head and I'm like, no, I can't say that. That would make me a target. Hey, Drew. So, and I'm already a target. I don't need to get to be more of a target, and I don't need to be taken by the asshats. There's things I want to say, but I won't. Anyway, this is one of the shows that I'm on, or a show that I've been on for 4 years. Yeah, laugh out loud, asshats. Well, I don't know. I call them all sorts of things, but that seems to be the one that sticks. Anyway, so what else? So keep an eye out for scoop marks. They're not very often on the torso. They're usually on the arms and legs. Usually on the, up in here. Sometimes they will be down in here or on the inner arm. I've known people where they've had them all over. Underneath the knees, on the insides of the knees, insides of the thighs. Some really interesting locations that are not from like a zit or some kind of medical issue or things, skin issue. These are real things. And they are from an ET abduction. Now, to my knowledge and understanding, some of these marks are usually MyLabs, not always. But that's how I understand it. And I can't even fathom why they would do that to children at all, but they have been known to. Yeah, Drew says they mark you specifically. Yeah, they do. I personally think it's their form of don't touch this person or you're going to be dealing with us type of thing, like a possession. But that's just an opinion. I don't know fact on that. I don't have information on it. It's not anything I've been told. That's what I suspect. Oh, you're in Montana right now, Drew? Cool. Stay safe, my friend. So, what else? So the okay, so the Greys, the Nursemaids that deal with the children that I've seen in the hybridization programs, they are blue-green. When they are naturally relaxed with somebody, they are blue-green. Otherwise, they're Caucasian. They have an ability to, when they are in, I'm assuming it's fear, they shift colors. I don't know what blue means. I don't know what green means. And I just know that if they are Caucasian, there's a damn good reason for it. And based on what I've seen, I think it's from fear. So, ouch. Okay. You're going to hear me pop, moan, and groan, and you're going to hear my chair squeak. So that's going to be fun. Okay, so I've known Arcturians. I believe I've known Palladians. There's ones from Orion that I know very well. I just don't know what race they are, or species, I should say. There's ones from Lyran. They are, not all of them, but many have feline DNA. And some of them can get very, very big. Very big. Like 9+ feet. Others are not quite anywhere near as big, like 7, but they're still big. They're not usually, those, to us, those are big. Okay, move my foot. To those of us, those are big. To them, the 7-footers, they're the small little ones. I was going to say rinky dinky, but that's not right. And boy, am I going to get nailed for saying that. But they're small. Somebody's saying run to the litter. I'm like, oh my God, so not okay. I do apologize. Heartfelt apologize for repeating that. What else? Some of the nursemaids, they have blue eyes, black hair. I've seen nursemaids bald. They don't necessarily have a gender, but they all feel, not only psychically, but like energetically wise, they feel female. Which is why I call them nursemaid. Well, no, I don't just call them that. Yeah, I was told that that's what they were called. What else? I'm trying to remember some of the others. So they range. Okay, so the one thing that changes with them is their height. These specific nursemaids, their height changes based on what group of children they're with. So size correlates with what age range, age bracket of children they are taking care of. And those specific ET, when they take care of, there is one nursemaid per child, period. When the children come together, when they bring the children to come together to play together, they range in age from infancy to teenage years, what we would call teenage years. These children grow rapidly. You know how we look at, and timeline-wise, we're looking at 18 years for them to be an adult. That's not the situation for these things. I still can't wrap my head around the time. I have talked about it before, but because I do know that there's going to be some newbies to ufology listening and watching, I'm not going to freak you out. At least that's never my intention, to freak anybody out. These are my experiences. I want to talk about these things. And a lot of this can be verified by a lot of other ETs. So they grow really rapidly, and I'm talking within a month, they're a full-grown adult. So I said it. Now, I know people are going to say, well, that's bullshit. No, actually, I honest to God thought it was, till I saw one of my own hybrids. Okay, now we hit emotion. Not going down that road. So, that all said, these children it's like they rapidly grow for whatever reason. However, they each have they each have one nursemaid per child. I can't even, it just boggles my mind. And that nursemaid stays with them until they are fully physically grown. Then once they grow up, so to speak, and they are taught a lot of different things in that month's time. A lot. For example, when the children are toddlers and they appear like toddlers, they are taught how to phase shift. Okay? They can literally shift into and out of visual. Can't imagine teaching a toddler, but it just boggles my mind. I also know that they can be taught. It's a natural ability. It's for them, these ETs, it is a completely natural ability. They can do it all on their own. I don't know how. I just know that it can be done. And I know that from other things, but especially after today, I had something very significant happen, and I'm not going to talk about it publicly. There are very specific people who know. Not a lot know, but there are very specific people who know. And it really hit home with me about how these kids can do that, and that they can do it in toddlerhood. Now, how they are forced to stop so that they can be taught how to do it appropriately. I'm assuming each nursemaid teaches and has that to teach in their repertoire. They are telepathic from the time their soul is how do I say this? So when a host mother is implanted with an embryo, and the embryo takes hold, and the woman is pregnant, it can take them anywhere from 1 to 3 or even 4 days to implant a soul, an ET soul, into that pregnancy. It's kind of similar to, it is, but it isn't, kind of similar to how we are incarnated, how we humans are incarnated in our mother's womb. That can be done at any time. So that during the pregnancy is what I mean. That could be done at any time during the pregnancy. So, what else? Okay, so black hair, usually short cropped black hair or long black hair, these nursemaids. Blue or green skinned, but that's an undertone. The Caucasian is the main skin color. And Caucasian, what I mean by Caucasian, it can be any kind of cream colored to olive color skin, but I typically see them as Caucasian skin. What else? There's some that have like Asian skin coloring, Latino skin coloring, that kind of thing. But the ones that I have seen most often are the ones that have the Caucasian skin with the blue and green. It's like underneath and it comes to the surface. It's like a translucent. I don't know what to call it. I just know that it's translucent. Ouch! I just know that it's translucent, and that when they become afraid for whatever reason, or somebody is being a human is being really disrespectful, and I mean like really disrespectful, they immediately go to Caucasian skin, or they walk in with Caucasian skin just to see what you're going to do and how you're going to respond and react. Blue eyes. They've always had blue eyes. Now I've seen it where their irises. Okay, let's see. Do you see? Yeah, that really pale color of blue. I've seen them with the entire eye looking like that, but the iris is the color. It's a cerulean blue, and I know art, it's kind of like that color of blue right there. This whole area right here. Or for that matter, right here. This whole, big area on the tapestry behind me. Anyway, and so I've seen irises blue, cerulean blue. Boy, I had to search far and wide to find the right color of blue. It took me almost 24. Well, actually, it took me a couple of days. But if you condense it all down, because I have a life. If you condense it all down, it essentially took me about 24 hours. So blue eyes, blue skin, or Caucasian, or green. The infants, some of the infants are blue or green. Excuse me, birthed blue or green, and once they see, hey, Bim Jim, once they, I'm glad to see you, hon. Once they are birthed, and they're being held by the mother, they go into an immediate Caucasian skin. A lot of these children have a third eye, literally on their forehead, where essentially our pineal gland is. And then it seals up. Once the infant is held by the mother, it seals up. Does it permanently seal up? I don't have a freaking clue. Not a clue on that. These nursemaids and other ET. Okay, there we go. And other ETs like them. Their heads, they have a like from, how do I say it? From like right about here on up, it's slightly enlarged versus ours. Their chin is smaller. Their lips are smaller, like their upper lip looks like mine, but their lower lip looks like my upper lip in thinness. Okay, so it's very thin. They've got a very petite, tiny nose. Like mine. Okay, so like mine's like that. You get a small one and you're looking at like that. Very small, but it is a human nose, human looking nose. Yeah, I've seen some hybrids that are like that. So Bim Jim just said my brother and I have odd-shaped craniums, long and narrow. I've seen ETs like that. ET hybrids, I should say, be more specific, Nikki. So that makes things kind of interesting. What else? I've seen shapeshifters. Feline, the one that I keep thinking of, but he's huge. I mean, he's just gigantically huge. And funny enough, there's only 2 ET that I feel completely safe with. Totally and completely safe with. He's one because I know for a fact he would protect me in any way, shape, or form possibility that it would ever come up. And then the one that I've gotten so used to, who's like a parental figure to me. That is really bizarre for me to say, but that's the feeling. That's the guttural heart. So guttural core and heart and head feeling. It's a mind boggler to me to even say something like that. Because in the grand scheme of things, I'm very new to ufology in the sense of talking. Not new to the ufology community. I was never active, so to speak, until 2018. 2018 and really 2019, and things really started popping out. And as most people know, I'm a lifelong ET abductee. I'm 56 years old. Hence the lovely gray hair. So, which I refuse to dye because dyes are chemical, and I don't want chemicals on or in the body anymore. For the most part, eye makeup, you kind of gotta, it's a bit different, or even lip color, a bit different. So, the tall whites, their eyes, when they remove their the black covers over the almond-shaped eyes that are almond-shaped that come up, dip, this one. It's always this one that goofs me up. So it comes up like that. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. And they've got the oval face, oval head, big head though. Long skinny neck, long skinny arms, long skinny legs, white body. But when you're really super up close to them and you're looking at their skin is actually the palest form of gray, but even 2 to 5 feet, it looks white. Or as another ET abductee said, powdery white to me not very long ago. So, and that person's right. I mean, it is. It's a powdery white. There's almost an iridescent look to it, but yet not quite. And those specific ETs, they will do a lot of abductions for other races and species of ET. They do the physical abducting. It's not always the 3-footers or the 4-foot grays that do the abducting. Just be aware of that. So you'll get ETs that they're the front man. How else do you say that? They are literally the front man for the ones that do whatever they're going to do to you. Sorry, my neck just popped. So, which is weird. It popped in a very strange place. Anyway, what else? Okay, I need a break for a minute. So, on that note, I'm going to do a product placement. I went, okay, squeaky. I went to this place. Oh my God, oh my God, I just got a brain fart. I can't think of where the hell this place is located, and it's not saying on its, just a second. I gotta look at my phone, folks. Sorry about that. Don't know why I'm not thinking of it, and I know people that live in the area. What the hell, Nikki? But I need I just, come on, there we go. Don't know why I'm not thinking of this. What the hell? Arlington. Thank you. So in Arlington, Washington, there's this little farm that is a lavender farm. And I got to go last weekend. And I loved it. I highly recommend it. The lights are really pretty. I will probably put up a picture of myself. Let's see, get rid of all of that. There we go. Hang on one second. I am going to undo all of this. This is the very old phone. Yeah. I will probably post this one. But the sign back there says Arlington Lavender Farm. And it's an @ symbol. But the actual lavender farm is called the Purple Robe. I highly recommend it, and I'm going to tell you, this little product is phenomenal. I picked up a jar. I don't remember I don't even remember how old it is. Come on. There we go. Lavender rosemary cream. Worth its weight in gold. I love this stuff. Phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Christine, Nikki, I saw those pics and I loved them. Special memories made. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's a very special place in my heart now. And I gotta say, they're doing right by their recipes. I am here to tell you, this is the kind of thing that I would be making personally. So, hello. I'm impressed. Impressed me. Anyway, highly recommend this product. Anyway, a lot of really good ingredients in it. And I'm not going to read the ingredients because you got to do your own research. Okay, that done. Okay, 48. Okay, so a 3-minute break. We're moving on now. So there are other beings, beings, ETs that I've seen some ETs that look like they're 7-foot humans. Not joking. When I was in a, okay, sorry. There we go. And everybody knows this one, Adama minerals, because I posted this one repeatedly. Love them. Anyway, so lost my train of thought. Trying. Yeah. All right. 7-foot tall, human-looking ETs. Same, not tall and skinny. Tall, yes. Average size of a guy that is doing, weight lifts and exercising and stuff. Trying to think of other things. I've seen those with, I was going to say white hair. That's not what I mean. I've seen those with blonde hair. I've seen them with black hair. They're very rare, but I have seen ETs that have, I was going to say red hair, but it's more like a strawberry blonde red type of red. Little bit darker than that color, but on that mode. What else? I've seen, example of the ones that are working with the U.S. government. They are a tawny brown. They have bent backwards legs, so their leg comes down, their upper thigh, it comes down to a knee, comes back, just like our legs do. It comes back just how, but the difference is that there's the, between your knee and your ankle. Well, ours don't bend backwards. Their knee comes down, forward, and then it goes back, and then it comes down again onto what I would call a pad. And so it sits on the ground. How do I? Hang on a second, guys. Let's see if I can do this without. Okay. So, loud noise. Okay. Maybe not so loud. Okay. So imagine this is the cement. Okay. Their pad comes down, and these are the toes. Their pad comes down like this. And so they walk on this part, okay? So it comes, you got that pad, it comes down to the, what we would call a heel. I can't do it the way that, but anyway, So it just comes down, backwards, and down again to the pad. And that's what their foot is. And it's interesting because I do believe there's some part of reptilian. They do have scales, but you can't quite classify it as scales. It's like their skin, but it's like not a scale that lifts up. Does that make sense? But that's what I've seen. Oh gosh, I've seen ETs that could easily pass for humans. So easily, it's just incredible. Blue hair. Oh my god, I just remembered blue hair. Blue hair on a 6.5 feet. Trying to remember who they were standing next to. She was blonde. He had blue. He was white, and I don't mean Caucasian, I mean like white. But very much looked human. But I think he was some kind of hybrid because his arms and his legs were very, very thin. Now, the interesting thing is that I remember this being, this ET, in what we would call a tunic or a dress. Was nice. His energy was male. That's how I knew he was a male. There were others that I remember off of that conference. I don't know what you can call it. I mean, we were sequestered. It was part of it was an extremely important meeting in the 1990s. I thought I remember thinking I'm losing my mind. But yet I know I'm here. I know this is real. And no one's going to tell me different. I mean, I literally, when I returned home on Earth, such a bizarre thing to say to me. I just find that so freaking bizarre. But it's what I remember. There were so many different races, species of ET that quite a few of them looked human. Others definitely were not. Oh, two. Oh God, I forgot about them. It's like the eyes are different. It's funny because I just saw a kids movie not long ago, and I went, I've seen that, but it was human. But it wasn't human. It was ET. And I'm like, how is it the eyes are like up here? One here, one here. I don't get it. Anyway, very much a human head, but the eyes were like, it almost reminds me of what you would call googly eyes. And I mean like the kind that can googly, they can move. And I don't mean the eyeball. I mean whatever it was that was off the head. Interesting thing is I don't remember a mouth on them. And they were green. Pale, 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 pale green. But with a human body, long neck. Hello, something just went across my... I just got too close. Wow, that's interesting. What else? There's so many others. I'm just trying to pull some out for you. I don't have a memory in my head of this one, but I have a memory in my gut and in my body of some kind of, I was about to say centipede, that's not what I mean, some kind of spider-like thing, but when it gets up to walk, it walks on two legs. But when it runs on, it's like Reminds me of a spider. I don't know what else to call it. Brownie black. But upright, it's not brownie black. I don't remember the color. It's like I can't retain the color. I've never been able to hold on to that color. Mantid. There have been forms of mantid I know I've seen that are green, brown. I keep using the term tawny brown. I don't know why. It's the closest that I can come to the color. Hi, Terry. How you doing? Mr. B and Friends. Truth Seekers. Hi, hun. I'm glad to see you. So, let's see. So many versions. Oh, and wow. One of the other things is that there are so many... good. I was just gonna say, give your wife a great big hug. Anyway, there are so many ETs that have been hybridized with the Greys. Now I want to know why. I find that fascinating. I don't understand why they would hybridize specifically with the Greys. I find that I find that truly, truly fascinating. Because I've seen so many different hybrids of the Greys. I just like the female that I just talked about, with the bent backwards legs. I've seen others with bent backwards legs, but she was the one that just really hit home with me. I mean, it just, because she was standing. Oh God, I have to get the tape measure out. She was standing 6 inches from me. Donk. Come on, get in there. Oh, you being a pill. Anyway. Okay. Wow. I've not had that difficulty with that before. Okay, something's going on with that. The spring is weird. What else? I know there's others I've seen. I just can't think of who they are right now. There's a lot of others I've seen. God. It's driving me nuts. There's parasites that are ET. Bim Jim, a tall white, sat down beside me. He was wearing a skin-tight suit. I studied his knee, and it was exactly like a human knee, but elongated. His feet were also long and skinny. Yep, I've seen stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. In most of my personal abductions, and as another abductee, hey, Robert, our Keith would know. Yes, he would. Our Keith Andrews, I'll put our Keith Andrews information in the description box below, because our Keith Andrews is another abductee who talks really openly about his experiences, and if you got questions, he's the one to go talk to, because he knows the names of the races and species of these ET. And there's very little that he and I actually disagree on. Very, very little. So yeah, definitely go and talk to our Keith Andrews. There's a few other people that I know that you can talk with. Misha Johnston is another one. Melinda Leslie is another one. Dave Scott is another one because he's interviewed a lot of people in his 10 years of spaced out radio, and could put you in contact with different people as well. Samantha Mowat is another one who talks openly. Oh God, there's so many more. Cheryl Costa, thank you. It was my dad. Geraldine Orozco is one. There's so many different people to go and talk to about experiences and groups to find if you are an ET abductee and you need support groups. There's Geraldine Orozco and Misha Johnston, a couple of others. Even I'm in a couple of different support groups simply because I deal with so much different subject matters and different things that happen to me as a host hybrid mother. How else do you say that? I am a host surrogate mother to ET pregnancies. Don't like it? Move along. This probably isn't for you, and you may not be able to handle that or not. Some people truly think I'm balls out crazy. Do I care? No. Do I care if the medical community thinks I'm balls out crazy? Yeah, because then I'm going to have some very, very serious issues, and I will say my piece. And believe me, I'm starting to do that now with medical people. So the one thing I haven't implanted baby incubator. Yeah, basically. Hang on one sec. So the I don't want them to have to report to me regarding to government, because that's the last thing I need is to be, even though I'm already a targeted individual because of talking about very, very specific things, such as the U.S. government's part in the space program, the global space program. It's not just theirs, which gets really convoluted really, really fast. But yeah, we are us moms and dads of hybrid children. It gets real interesting super fast. But if you're an ET abductee and you're experiencing these things, you need to know the different species and races that are taking you. And what we know them as, such as the Greys, that's not their names in space. That's not how other ETs know them as. They know them as a lot of, by the we're known as humans. What happens when we've got so much bigotry on this planet against each other? What happens when people find out that we're part of hybridization programs? When the mass public in general finds out, it's gonna be a shit show. Bim Jim, I've met ETs on 8 occasions. I've never been abducted. They just come and visit me in the daytime. They are polite to me. They test me and try to teach me things. Awesome. I'm telepathic. Yeah, same. I'm real specific with my telepathy, though. Very, very specific. On Earth, I block a lot. Like I was at a restaurant, which very rare for me to even be at a restaurant anymore nowadays. Very, very rare. But on Saturday, I was at a restaurant, and my family and I sat down to talk and enjoy each other's company and rest and have a bite to eat. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. And the next thing I know, I'm literally hearing somebody's thoughts because I forgot to block. And they were hopping. This person was hopping mad. And that's probably why they were able to be telepathic, was because they were hopping mad. And they were projecting. And when you project and you're angry, watch out. Everybody's going to hear it. Or at least those of us who can, they're going to hear it. So my point is, oh, you stupid chair, shut up. My point is that you got to be careful when you're telepathic, because you can hear other people. And this person, when I say they were hopping, they were really pissed off at somebody that was at their table. They were yelling and screaming at them in their head. And I heard it and I went, oh, nope. And I put a block. I was like, nope, I don't want to know their information. I don't want to know who it is. WD-40 for the chair. Yeah, but if I do WD-40, then it drains out the bottom of the chair, and even one spritz of it will do it. And then you got a grease mark on the carpet. Been there, done that. That's not fun. So yeah, but you're right. I do need, okay, this is going to sound funny, but lube, there's actual mechanical goop lube that you can put on it that doesn't drip. Thank you, Robert. Made me realize that. Anyway, automotive. You can usually find it in an automotive store. Singer sewing oil. Oh yes, I forgot about that stuff. I have some of that. It's a really good idea. Thank you. So yeah, when you're telepathic, and not just an FYI, not all ETs are telepathic, but many are. And that can get really interesting, especially when you are taken from very, very early on, infancy even, you can be telepathic. And if you're a child, then well, not you per se, but because I don't make these for kids. These videos are not for kids. But my point is that as a kid, that kid could easily be going, but Mom and Dad, why aren't you hearing me? And they are nonverbal, but they're telepathic. They're not nonverbal yet. That's how I want to say that. But they're telepathic. Lube isn't for kids either. Yeah, no kidding, Joe. Hey, it's good to see you, sweetie. So it really becomes quite a situation when the kid doesn't understand, but yet put them around an ET who's telepathic. That kid's going to speak volumes. Kind of a big deal. And also really fascinating as well. So a lot of these ETs in the hybridization program, they're telepathic from day one. They choose, and they're very careful. Oh, okay. I just got a message that popped up on my screen. Yes. I agree, Bim Jim. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, God. Sorry. I had an unexpected yawn. He says, while I'm standing in line in the grocery store, I go into a partial meditation state. That way I don't get into weird telepathic conversations. Oh, it's 14:14 down here. What do you mean 14:14? Oh, are you talking military time? It's 8:15 p.m. right now. Anyhow, what else? Aussie time, yes, says Joe. So let's see. Oh, so suits. That's what I was gonna say. I've met many. Drop bear time. I've met many ETs who do the actual physical abducting. That do not wear clothing. I've met and come across many who do. So it's kind of like a crapshoot. Some wear, I've seen some of the tall whites in blue. I've seen some of the tall whites in white. Never in red or green. I find that fascinating, but I don't know what made me think of that. But anyway, so that all said, there's so many species. Robert says rainbow serpent time. Bim Jim 814. Joe drop bear time. Joe close encounters. Yeah, I'm not reading that one out loud, dear boy. No. So that's pretty much it right now. I think that's unless you got questions. There are more. I'm not thinking of them. Those are the ones that are popping into my head the most. Some of my own children are combinations of human and grays. I dare you. I don't want to get shut down, dear boy. No. Somebody else had posted something and they got nailed. Somebody's making Christmas candy. Yum, yum. Oh, speaking of which, Rosella, if you ever watch this, mwah, thank you for what you sent me. Delicious and an incredible treat. Incredible treat. So thank you. Wow. That was quite the container. It still is. It's going to be an ongoing container for a long time. That stuff is rich, man. Anyway, so I had a friend send me something. No, I don't. Robert knows. He was on the call with me last night, and we were on a show together, and Rosella had sent me something, and I was nibbling, and God, it was so good. And then I chose to have something else later, and I was like, I got kind of sick because I was like, oh, I shouldn't have had that. I should have only had what I had on the show and not anything else. It was really freaking good. She's damn good at what she does. Anyway, she's another psychic medium. Joe Monk is a sign of aliens messing with you while you're asleep that you wake up with a rash. That's just what I was going to say, Robert. I'm not going to say that what Robert's response, but yeah, that can also be. Joe hit me up privately because it has to do with. Matter of fact, I need to make a note of this because Robert's right. I want to be sure that I say what I say correctly to you. 1 second, sweetie. But I'm not saying I'm not saying that publicly. Okay. Hang on one second, guys. There's other reasons. Oh, that's what I was gonna. Oh, excuse me. That's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, so I've got that written down, dear. Robert, yuck. Robert says the little grays may not have washed their hands properly. They are sticklers. The ETs that I know, they are sticklers when it comes to hygiene. Oh my god. Bim Jim, what percentage of humans are telepathic? I figure it's 5%. You know, I honestly don't know, but because I truly believe there are millions of abductees of every kind, whether it's ET or MyLab or Montauk or SSP or whatever. There's so many. Yeah, those are hives. There's a bunch of different reasons. That could be medical stuff. Not this time of year. Shouldn't be, Robert. So they're having a conversation. I'm going to let that go to the two of them. But Mr. Monk hits me up in private after the show or tomorrow. And we'll have a conversation about things. Because I've got a lot of experience with allergies and stuff. So I'm not saying, and it's not psychic stuff. That's all experience. So, yeah, see, they're in summertime. And Joe, where Robert's at, they're in summertime for them. Robert's in Australia, so they got summer down there, and it's very hot in some places and comfortable in others. So, we did the suits, talked about the suits. I've seen what I can only call the reptilians, different versions of the reptilians, some with bent backward legs, like I described earlier, some with legs similar to ours, only bigger, beefier. The foot is completely different. They walk on a pad like a cat does, or like a dog. Like they'll walk on this part. Oh God, I just had a memory of clicking. There's a movie, Jurassic Park. I don't remember which one, where the female clicks her dew claw. It's a dinosaur. It clicks her dew claw. Reminds me of a specific race of ET that's reptilian, but it's not a dew claw. It's a different kind, and it doesn't look anything like that. It's not a hook. At Raptor, thank you, Robert. And when I do like this, that's the first thing I think of, is that those set of nails on cement or on metal. I've heard that, and that creeps me out. I don't like that sound. And it's real specific. So I've actually seen numerous different ET with or without nails, and some of them curl around the toes, some of them don't, like a claw, some of them super skinny, some are not. But there are some ETs, when they walk, it makes a weird sound, and it's very specific. I'm very, very rare you come across the sound. So And the only way I can describe the foot is like a pad and a paw, but it's not it's a pad, but it's not a paw. I've seen ET with, and it's funny because somebody else like real recently in the last few days to week, talked about this very thing. It's their experience, but it's also mine, and yet I don't always deal with that specific race or species of ET where it's a gray. It's a form of a gray, and these two fingers are like fused together. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but these two are fused. So I've seen stuff like that. I've seen it where these two fingers are fused, but usually it's these two, so it's like that. Robert said that's similar to a cassowary claw. Oh, the bird, the very large bird that's like an ostrich down there? Is that what you mean? Cassowary, another one of the 1,000 things that will kill you in Australia. Yeah. But there are, and Robert says, yep. Yeah, they're very much, but they're much more dangerous. If I remember correct, they're much more deadly, much more dangerous than an ostrich. They'll shred you a lot faster than an ostrich would. Although, if I remember right, in research, the cassowary is not capable of running as fast as an ostrich. Anyway, that's a sideline. There are thank you, Robert. There are, and I say thank you because it just literally popped into my head. There are ET who resemble owls. Totally forgot about that until just this second. Huge eyes. Oh my god, huge eyes. If I remember right, they're 7 feet tall. And there are ET that have feathers. They are not what has been falsely described by somebody who is a fake, how do I say this politely? SOB. That's as polite as I can be. Who got caught in court lying, or not lying, but got caught in court saying that what he had said he had made up. Anybody in the chat know who I'm talking about? Put his name in the chat, please, because I'm not speaking that little his name. Yeah, thank you, Para. Joe had some weird scratch marks on the hood of my truck found this morning. The dog couldn't have done it. Combine that with the leg, something's messing with me. Yeah, I would tend to agree. Especially when you get a combination of things. That's what happened with me today. I had a combination of situations today, and it brought up a lot of stuff, a lot of information. So, so you got the owls. Who else am I missing, folks? Because I have memories. But I talk about these other ones so often that I've literally. Oh, shut up, chair. I've literally forgotten the others. I haven't done owls in years. I mean, I know I've seen them. And I know I've been watched by them, and I know I haven't been bothered by them. But the feathers thing, there are ones with feathers. I've not seen something that's blue, like what he's talking about with the, I'm not even going to say the name, starts with a letter A, ends with an NS. I'm not saying it. Somebody else want to put it in chat. They're called the blue. What birds are. I've never seen, no, not the Andromedans. Thank you, Tim. Hey, Tim, how you doing, hon? That's an excellent, thank you, Para. That's the one I was looking for. So both Tim and Paramarv have put the name in, the full name in the chat. I appreciate that. So Para is asking, you mentioned there are so many types of grays. Any idea as to why there are so many? Not at all. To be blunt, that goes way above my purview. Way above my knowledge. I know that they clone the ETs a lot. The grays is what I meant to say, a lot. I don't understand why they clone them. Not clone, but hybridize. I don't understand that. That I would actually like to be informed of by the ETs. Yeah, that's a really good point. Robert says somebody left the cloning machine on like a photocopier, excuse me. Look, I know there are, because of my own hybrid babies, I know there are containers of hybrid babies. They're called gestational tubes. I gotta write that down because I don't know if I'm going to remember that anytime soon again, because that one doesn't come up I don't say that one very often. Gestational tubes. And sacs. Because I've seen both. I've seen babies in gestational tubes, containers, and they're cylinders is what they are. And actually Robert has taken me to in Astral, Robert has taken me to it was actually one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever been given. To a different planet in Astral to see one of my hybrid babies. And he was so surprised. I mean, so surprised that I came to see him. And he was so cute. And he was in his gestational tube. But I've seen him in tubes. I've seen him in sacs. Now, here's the other thing. I've seen clones, human clones, in gestational tubes and sacs as well. Mostly sacs. Well, I don't know if I have to do a 50-50 or if I have to do a 64. I don't know. I don't know what the percentage would be. I know I've seen a lot of them. I also know that the ETs store a lot of these clones and gestational sacs and containers, but they are well cared for. I mean, like really well cared for. The babies especially are super well cared for. That's their next generations. Robert, it's that time of year for a lot of sacs to be emptied. Yes, it is. December, man, Santa may be an ET. Oh, that's funny. There are, God. So between December and March are the months where hybridized infants are birthed. That was a really good point, Robert. Really freaking good point. And that's based on my own personal experience and knowledge about hybrid babies. Because I've been pregnant anywhere from typically September, but once in a blue moon, August, end of August. Anywhere from September through December is when they've impregnated me, and when they've taken them is when February to March. My personal experience is 3 months. Other women I know swear by, oh, it's 60 days. No, it's not. Not for me. It's not. I would, matter of fact, if I had my Bible next to me, I'd put my hand on my Bible and I would swear. I would swear to it because that's what I know. Oh, thank you. Dang it. One moment. Joe just sent me something. Whoops, hello. Gotta exit out of that, and that. Oh, great owls, dude. Seriously. You got the back of their eyeballs in that one picture. Hello. Great pictures. Bim Jim. I think some greys have souls and some don't. Twice. 4 greys of 5'3" in height visited me with my tall white friend. I heard their telepathy and they aren't much smarter than humans. I am. Excuse me. Yeah. It's really rather fascinating in the grand scheme of things. Well, the taller ones, the tall grays, over 6 feet, they're highly intelligent, to my knowledge. And the tall ones, oh my God, very intelligent, and they can knock you out by just looking at you. I mean, all they have to do is use their mind. They don't have to, I mean, and part of that comes down to the fact that our pineal gland in human body, the pineal gland is so dropped down by what is going on this planet deliberately, to decrease our higher consciousness state, and abilities. They want you down as much as you can possibly be so that they can control you more and give you false information. Their narrative of things. And that's not my take on it. That is what I have learned the very hard way. I've only met this one kind of gray. I've met 4 species of ET only. Yeah, I've met so many that I don't even know where to go with it. I mean, every time I go right back into the ones that I remember the most. And then the ones that I remember the most out of the, I call it the cubicle, out of the conference room, out of a very elaborate conference room. And wow, did they not allow technology? You could not. That was one thing I don't think I've ever said before. They would not allow any kind of technology into that room whatsoever. And you were not allowed to be telepathic in that room. If you were, you got your ass handed to you on a silver platter. And I don't mean literally. It's really offensive to them to have your own self-talk. I just got a weird, I need to check on somebody. Sorry, I just got a weird feeling. Anyhow, there are so many more ET than what I have talked about. I mean, like, seriously more. What else? R. Keith Andrews has 2 books about the various races, species of somebody's making a joke in my head, and I'm like, okay, knock it off. It really is distracting, and that's the whole point of it. And I just lost my train of thought. God damn it. Sorry. I think it was Bim Jim. No, who was it that, or was it Para? It must have been Para. Yeah, types of gray. Any idea why there are so many? I know that different ones have goals. They all have goals. They all have their own agendas. But there are specific things that the grays are being used for, or that the grays are using themselves for, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm just telling you my experience and what I know. I'm not an expert. No one. If somebody is claiming to be an expert in this industry, and it is an industry, in this ufology community, walk the other way. There's no such thing. We are all experiencers in one fashion or form in this community, in these. We're all trying to put our own stuff together, and when we come together, we become stronger as a family, as a community in this arena, in this field. And it is an arena because, hello, look at what the media has done. Look at what Hollywood has done. Look at what other countries are doing. I mean, it becomes en masse humorous in many ways, and it makes it easy because we're pliable. Don't be pliable. You want to be pliable in many different factors and forms, but in this one, you don't want that. So you got to be very, very careful. There are 10 to the 22nd power. Is that right, Bim Jim? Habitable planets in the universe, according to our current science. There should be hundreds of species visiting Earth. There are. And actually, there are some living in Earth, like underground. And that'll eventually start coming to the surface, so to speak. Some of those tunnels that they have built, some of those are going to start collapsing. When will that happen? I don't know. I just know that it starts in Canada and it goes through the U.S. As a matter of fact, I got to get a map up here. It's, if I remember right, it starts in Montana. It starts above Montana. Oh, come on, phone. It starts above Montana, if I remember correctly, but I could be mistaken. I got to look at the map. Okay, come on. There we go. Yeah, it starts in southern Calgary, or southern. Oh, it's on the border of Alberta and the border of Saskatchewan. Southern. And then it goes into Montana and goes down into the middle of Wyoming. Those are the tunnels that I know about that start collapsing. No, I'm glad you did. It took me a minute. I hate math. I know people that absolutely love it and think I'm nuts because I don't like math. Well, I don't like math because of how I was taught. And it has to do with my dyslexia. If somebody could sit down and go through with me and teach me the way I need to be taught, I would probably love it. Because I love science. That was one of the things I wanted to be in astrophysics. which people are going to laugh at. But yeah, I used to want to be in astrophysics. I used to want to be in, there's a lot of things that I wanted to be in. And because I couldn't wrap my head around, well, basically it had to do with how I was being taught, because people were assholes back in the 70s and early 80s. And I had I had some real asshole teachers when I was growing up, and then I had a few that were just divine. They were Mrs. Kinch. I don't even know if she's still alive. She was phenomenal. I had a music teacher that was at that same school. She was phenomenal. I had a teacher that treated me like shit because my grandmother had died. My mom sold everything my grandmother ever had and owned and took me to Tonga for a month and a half. Actually, we got stuck in the Pan Am airstrike. Airline strike. Strikes, I should say. And they ended up, so I had this teacher who I got eventually told that she was so jealous of the fact that, I mean, she treated me like shit. I couldn't stand her after that. I mean, she became a nightmare. I've had teachers call me dumb, stupid, all kinds of names, hit me on the back of the neck, hit me on the back of the ankles. That's how I grew up. Because that was before they diagnosed me with dyslexia. And as a kid, I had daycare people who would call me names of morons and you're retarded and you're beyond stupid and you're never going to grow up and you're never going to amount to anything and you can't do shit. So when you've got adults telling you at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, it makes a hell of an impact, and you are not like that. And you know damn well you're not like that. You fight back, and you fight back in some really interesting ways. And then I had excellent teachers that I'm going to call you out because I loved you as a teacher, honey. Mr. Janeski. Mwah! Mrs. Brining. Mwah! Phenomenal teachers. They were excellent. I couldn't recommend them enough, and I know that they're all retired. They were fantastic. They set the world apart, and oh my God, Mrs. Martin. Oh, wonderful. Loved her. Oh my God. When you find teachers that will bend over backwards, that are trying to help you in whatever way, it's a big deal. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant. I apologize, guys, but it's a big deal. And so, oh, fantastic. So you know all about the tunnel boring machine in Seattle, Bim Jim. So Bim Jim just said, as an engineer, hey, Sandra. Bim Jim just said, as an engineer, I made tunnel boring machines. I was amazed at how many we were making. That was in the 1970s. I'm 75 now. Kudos to you. Because of you, Seattle has a couple of pretty cool frickin' tunnels. Because of a gigantic tunnel boring machine. And it was incredible. I knew engineers at the time who were talking about that. I knew people in the business who were talking about it that had nothing to do with the tunnel, but who were going to be walking those tunnels eventually. So yeah, you're the kind of folks that I'm thankful for, Bim Jim, because you helped build. I know. Oh, I can't say that. I was just about to call somebody out, and I can't do that because they're not public, and they are not public, and they would get into trouble. I don't want to do that. But folks like you, yeah, I get it. It's a big deal. Oh my God, we've got 11. Hello. Hi to all 11. I'm off at 9. I've got 10 minutes. Didn't expect. Anyway, so any questions about any of the other ETs? Because I'm not thinking of the others right now, and I know there are so many. Oh, what is with the I want to call it a pug nose. There's an ET with, I want to call it a pug nose. I just don't remember. Stop that. Yeah, I've got family who are Canadian too. I've got family who are, yeah. Oh, thank you, Robert. Robert's just saying, like and subscribe if you like what you have seen today. Yes, that's very true. Most appreciated, Robert. Yeah, if you like what is being talked about, please like, share, and subscribe. And I am going to refer you guys out to our Keith Andrews. I will put his information. Speaking of which, his and Spaced Out, Dave Scott's Spaced Out Radio. Let me get over to this. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, slow poke, come on. Thank you. Okay. My dear. I like Keith. He's a sweetheart of a guy. Who the hell are you? Why are you not popping up? I'm going by too fast, that's why. Hang on one second, folks. I apologize. There you are. Okay. There's one. Okay, so here is Keith's. Come on. Information. Paste. And that's our Keith Andrews. And then we're going to go to Spaced Out Radio. And this will be Dave's. Been a while since I've done this. Given out Dave and Keith's shows. But it is important. We need to support each other, folks. We really do. We all need to stick together and not fight and all of that. Woo Riders. Hey, Woo Riders. Bim Jim, I've got family in San Diego and in-laws in Maine. Yeah? Yeah, I had family in California too. Bim, no, let's see, Paramarv. Okay, don't remember. Sandy times 3. Okay, trying to find out. Okay. I think that's it on that. 700. Yes, that's why. Sandra just said, I had several dreams of tunnels from British Columbia, Canada, to California. Yeah, there are tunnels all over this planet. They are used in combination with military, with corporate America. Oh, YouTube has been updated in the background. Well, that's interesting. Good. Very interesting that they're doing it now, but okay. Nikki, have you heard? So Woo Writers is asking, have you heard of blood types changing in humans after alien? Yes. Okay, that's an excellent question. I'm glad you brought it up because other people have commented on it this week. Have you heard of blood types changing in humans after alien abductions. Yes, I have. There are people that I've known that have gone from A to O. There are people that have, was it RH, that have gone to A? Is that the one that I'm thinking of correctly? Yeah, I believe so. There are other people who've had experiences with that. They, they don't know why. I can't give you an answer. If I knew why, I would be hollering it. Paramarv. I heard about that recently, Woo Writers. I can't remember what show, though. Woo Writers, I didn't hear it from any show, though this is actually doctor's proof. Para, so are we to believe that their blood changed its mind? No. Okay, so here's the other thing. Woo Writers is asking, if so, how do you think it happens? Quite bluntly put, and I only know this because of what happened to one of my hybrid sons. I'm assuming I'm still O type blood. I haven't had it checked in quite some time. But one of my hybrid children nearly died, and I've talked about this repeatedly. I've talked about this story repeatedly. And the only reason why I'm talking about this again is because of the blood. Now, I'm wondering, as an abductee, if folks that do have that happen, if it's happening because they're having their entire blood changed out. For what purpose? That leads me into questions that go into hybridization. That leads me into questions of in what way are they using that genetic makeup? Because it does become your blood. This I know. They took all of my blood, or nearly all of my blood, over the course of numerous days, because my son, my hybrid son, was dying. Excuse me. He got into I can't say that. I can't say that either. Shit. Okay. He got into a situation to where it became life-threatening. He had a lot of injuries. Enough to kill him. He was bleeding to death. Literally. And they came and got me, and the ETs came and got me. Literally walked into my home. I think I talked about this last week. They literally walked into my home. Told me it was the first and really only time that I ever, well, no, it's not the only time. Take that back. Just made a liar out of yourself, Nikki. Hate it. No, that doesn't happen very often. Anyway, basically what took place is, God dang it, this is just showing up again. Why is this showing up again? Yes, you did. Thank you, Para. But for the newbies out there, it can happen. He was dying. They literally increased my blood flow. I don't know, not flow, blood volume. Okay, I don't know how they did it. I don't keep censoring my comments. This censors are dumb as F. What are your Yeah, I'm not. There's nobody in chat that's censoring you, so it's got to be YouTube. Bim Jim, hit me up on Facebook Messenger if you want questions. Ask me on Facebook Messenger, or on and right now I don't have my email up. Or message me on my email, restorebelief 2022@gmail.com. Facebook is facebook.com/Nikki, Nikki .Jacobs, JACOBS.376. Message me there. I will be creating, if Facebook allows it, I will be creating another email account because I'm getting a lot of strangers who are messaging me who are abductees that I already know that they're abductees. I'm not saying how I know that. That's my business, not yours. And I don't want them in my I don't want, until I get to actually know somebody, I'm very, very, very selective about who is on my personal page. I keep it very small because I'm very protective of the people who are on my page. Okay, so I will be creating, and yes, I've got my psychic medium page, but that's public. This is different. I'm going to see if Facebook will allow me to create another, but more of a specific kind of non-public page that's like a public entity type thing. So I'm a business maybe type page, and do it that way. And that way I can have people come in and do that and be okay. So in Dave's chat, a ton of words are censored. Personalized. Yeah, Robert, personalized. It needs to be personalized. Oh, I missed some comments. Hang on a second, folks. Rewriters actually found out that after birth, this person, which is very close genetics wise, has grown an extra body part since birth. Woo writers, really? Holy crap. Woo writers, how I just said it, message me. I want to know about this. So anyway, the point is that they gave my infant, well, he wasn't an infant, he was a full grown adult, my blood, and they had us, we were doing transfusion, and they kept me knocked out except for once, where I looked over to my right and I'm like, that's my boy. Do anything you gotta for my boy. And I'm like that with my kids. You screw with my kids, I become mama bear. Doesn't matter if it's my human kid or my hybrid children. These are my kids. Yes, they are made and created and by the ETs, but they've implanted them in me. They're mine. Every child I've ever had has been telepathic. And it's like, don't screw with mama. No way in hell. And it's like any mother should be that way with any of their children. But about the blood, I don't know how they change it, but I know transfusion is part of it. I don't know. All I know is what my son went through, and I highly suspect, based on what I was told, and I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of what I was told, but based on what I was told, I highly suspect they changed his blood type. Why I suspect that? There are little things I was told. I wasn't told, but it was just enough to where I was like, something in my brain clicked and I understood what they meant. And the feel is that somehow my blood was fine, but his was changed. I don't understand why. So it's possibly in the transfusion, in the splicing and dicing. I call it splicing and dicing for those that don't know me or haven't seen this before. The splicing and dicing of the genetics. I suspect that's also the same with the blood typing. So I hope that answered Woo Rider's question, and Paramarv's and Bim Jim's, anybody else's as well. Um, Robert, and you have so much backup on your side. Yes, I really do. I've got quite a bit of, if I'm calling out, whether it's telepathic or verbal or from my core, I have people come running. You don't want me to call out on you because I'll have backup. And I make no bones about it. I mean, I'll tell you that flat out. The ETs get a little protective of some of us, and rightly so. But at the same time, they have a legalistic attitude, very much so. Many of them do not have emotion. Not all, but many of like the tall whites and the grays, they don't have emotion in them. It's been literally bred out. This is what I was told. And this is how I know, because they did this with one of my children, one of my hybrid children. They literally started putting the genetics for emotion back in. The kind of splicing and dicing that takes, I can't even fathom that. It is way beyond anything science that I can even wrap my own head around, even though they showed it to me when I was 4 years old and older. So, yeah, it can be done. And eventually humanity will get to that stage to where we can do it as well. That's a scary thought. Woo writers, but a lot of times it's YouTube that does it. In most cases, yes, it is. I agree with that. Paramarv, yep, don't F with Mama Bear. That's right. Bim Jim, I comment on many sensitive subjects: war, religion, history, and science. Yeah. It wasn't up until about 6 months ago that I actually went into different chats. I'd read chats, but I wouldn't respond in some of them, or I might click like or something like that, but I wouldn't respond. Now, in the last 6 months, I'm actually making comments, which is one of the reasons why I'm getting so many people coming to me and going, I want to know what she knows. Well, come watch this. Come watch these broadcasts. There's a lot of information in them. A lot of different information. Some of it's a lot of the same, but I talk about it because of you guys. I talk about it because of me. I need to be able to express this, what I've experienced. And if it helps somebody else, more power to you. You're on your own path. Each and every single one of us are on our own path. And we have our own experiences. And I had somebody tell me it's all kids are all hybrids are 60 days. No, they're not. We're each individual. We are individual. Many people that are being abducted by certain races of ET or certain species, races of ET, they can be doing 60 days. Others will do 3 months. Mine are 3 months. They used to be 5 months. Pregnancies is what I mean by that. We are all on a different path. It's not all exactly the same. And if somebody claims to be an expert, like I said before, turn around and walk the frick away. There's no such thing in this field. Now, when it comes to science-based information, people, yeah, you can classify them as experts. However, when it comes to the ET stuff, different ballgame altogether. Woo writers, Nikki, I was recently shared info from a credible source in SP Ops that after alien crafts have crashed, the military and black programs off record have genetically engineered these aliens from crashes. I believe that these alien life forms possibly could have purposely crashed the crafts so that humanity could get genetically re-engineer them for what purpose? I don't know. Maybe pushing agendas, excuse me, plural. Okay, I can comment on that. Here's what I know. You're not going to like it. No one's going to like it. I don't like it. My labs does this. What I've seen, what I've experienced, try waking up in your clone body. You're this size. You wake up in your, what you know is one of your, I've got 3 clones, 32-year-old, 34-year-old, 36-year-old. The only reason I know that is because of how my stomach is and how the girls are. Okay, 32, they're bright and perky. 36, they're slightly sagged. This is how I know which age I was. Now, that said, try waking up in a clone body where you've got 9 metal rods sticking out of your leg. And it does not hurt to pull those metal rods out of your leg, because all you want to do is get your ass up off the bleeping table and leave. And yet you're looking down going, well, okay, I'm 32, I'm 34, or I'm 36 years old. I've had experiences like that. And the only way I knew was the size of my body and the size of my breasts, and whether they were up and perky or slightly elevated, slightly lowered, not elevated, lowered. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very blunt about it. U.S. government owns clones. I know it. I've seen it. I've lived it. I've experienced it. Don't like it too effing bad. I know what I've seen. I know what I've experienced. No, Joe, we're not back to that hub. Perky breasts, are we back to... Oh my God, Para. I nearly spit out what I was drinking. That was good. And I was going to be done 13 minutes ago. Okay. Okay. Woo Writers, Nikki, has your conscious ever been transferred to one of your clones, then retransferred back to your regular body? Excellent question. Yes, it has. Repeatedly. Matter of fact, it was only today that I realized what the name of the kind of, pardon me, what kind of, shit, I can't think of the name of it. Because I was a pilot. And I'm here to tell you, I got to do barrel rolls as a pilot, and I didn't remember that until today. I had fun. I got in a lot of trouble for doing barrel rolls. Serious amount of trouble for doing barrel rolls in a multi-million-dollar vehicle that isn't supposed to be able to do barrel rolls, but I did. God, I had so much fun with that thing. Hang on a second. I'm trying to find. Trying to find it. 1 second here. I took screenshots. I'm not. There you are. Okay, now, part of this is from a video game, but it's the only thing that even remotely comes close to what I piloted. And what I piloted has a blunt nose. It doesn't have a pointed nose to it. In the game, and I had to look this up, and I only found out about this today. In the game, it's called a DC-77 Pelican. Now, those are off planet. I've seen them. I've flown. If it wasn't that one, it was one real freaking similar to it. And it's fun to fly. Really fun to fly. And I'd forgotten about that. Anyway, so look it up. Do your research. Hit me up with information if you want. Anyway, yes, Woo Riders. I believe they cloned Dolly the sheep in 1997 and publicly made it known. They cloned a human also in 2002, I think it was. I don't remember her name. They kept her completely hidden. She's an adult. She's 20-something years old. And as far as what I've read, God, in the last, 2 years? I'm not reading that one out loud, Woo Riders, but I do understand. Because I'm not naming names on that. I don't want to get into some kind of legal issue with it. But basically, yeah, clones are real. Paramarv, would staying in that younger body be an option? Asking for a friend. If it was allowed, but the problem is your soul is not, your higher consciousness is connected to your soul. The problem with staying in that body, Para, is that you're dealing with, your soul is still connected to your physical body here on Earth. But your higher consciousness can be subdivided. The ETs have figured out how to do it, and they have taught, well, semi-taught the U.S. military how to do it, and other global militaries how to do it. But they make the ETs do it. The human subconscious, the consciousness can be, the higher consciousness can be subdivided out. Oh, no, you wouldn't. It says, no soul, that's even better. That means I'd be guilt-free. No, you wouldn't be. Because you're still you. Every part of you is still you. Excuse me, your soul is connected with the body that you're in now. But your higher consciousness, yeah, it's very different. You'll feel everything. You'll still be mentally competent. You'll still be mentally aware. But yeah, there are things you can, I mean, I was able to do the splits. There are things that I could do in that body that are like, I used to love gymnastics when I was a kid. I used to love the vault. God, I loved the vault. And you'd hear me coming, because when I ran, I'm like, every part, I was like, thump, 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 thump. I mean, I nailed it, right? And I flew. When I hit that vault, I flew. It's the same kind of feeling. When you're in, you can do anything in those bodies. It's an incredible feeling, especially if you've got, like, this body's got a lot of injury, well, a lot of damage to it. And God, it was phenomenal. To be able to do and access different things and to move and to it was completely different. It was, but yet it was the same. And it was extremely familiar because it was my body. I couldn't imagine being subdivided out higher conscious wise and being in somebody else's body. That wouldn't fly with me. No pun intended. That wouldn't go well. Wouldn't go over well. Oh, I loved the vault. Yeah, Christine, I loved the vault. Christine, I loved gymnastics as a kid too, but I wasn't good. I just liked the easy stuff. Wow, Nikki, you did the vault. That's awesome. Yeah, loved the vault. Hated the beam. Oh my god, I hated that freaking beam. Couldn't do diddly shit on the parallel bars, but get me out into when I was much younger, we used to do all sorts of things. I used to fly. We used to wrap our knee. So you'd wrap your knee around a bar, and then you'd come down and under and wrap your fingers together and then spin. So you'd wrap your fingers over your knees like this. So your knees right here. You'd wrap your fingers like this, and your arms would be underneath. So your arms would be like, here's the bar. Your arms would be underneath it. And you're grabbing your knee and you kick off and you start spinning face forward around the bar. This is what we used to do as a kid. And if you were really good, you could stop yourself and flip backwards and start spinning backwards. And I was really freaking good at it. It was something that to this day, I deeply treasure because I really loved it. And then if you got up, you stood up on the bar, but one knee was on the bar and your hands were like this on the bar on one side of the knee, on the other side of the knee, and you'd start spinning. You could do it that way. And if you wanted to go backwards, you'd put your hands like this and you'd start spinning backwards. I used to do that all the time. All the time. Got into a lot of trouble for it too. Okay. Woo Writers. I never told anyone this exactly, just in a roundabout way, but I was in a program in early 1990s. It was a research study to see the effects of adrenaline on youth. It was volunteered to counteract a breathing condition I had. The effects lasted for over 6+ years. It was more like athletes on high. It gave me a huge advantage against other kids growing up with physical activities. Christine, was it a trial study on asthma with writers? I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. I am sorry too. Oh, I dropped it. That's why. Okay, that's why it's not up here. Okay, well, we'll just use the lotion for the moment. My lips are starting to drive me nuts. Much better. Somebody's being a smartass. Sorry. So basically, yeah, I mean, so I loved carnival rides when I was a kid. Kind of made my dad sick once. One of the very, very rare times my dad took me on the Zipper. It's a carnival ride that literally is like two of these put together. So it's like this. And you've got, trying to find something small and round. I'm just going to take a vitamin. Okay, and you've got a capsule, because that's what they look like, a little capsule attached to one. Actually, it hung. It was like this. It spun around and around and around, around and around, but it's a capsule. And you had 6 of them on each row. So you had 12. And it would tip like this, and the capsule that was like this is now like this. And you're sitting in it. You have to have an adult with you. And when these start going around and around and around and around, these that you're sitting in start to spin. And if you rock back and forth, you'll rock them forward and backwards. My dad went with me. He's laughing right now. I can hear him laughing, which is great. I don't get to hear you laugh very often. That sounds scary for a child. No, I loved it. I wanted to go, baby. I was like holding on to the bar that's in front of us and just spinning. And so the fact that I got to roll and do barrel rolls as a pilot, oh, it took me back to childhood. I loved it. I can't remember the exact trouble I got into, but all I remember, I'm literally hearing right now, like officers screaming at me, one after another, just screaming at me. But yeah, it's something that I deeply treasured because it brought me right back into those experiences of being able to move that way, being able to, gravity didn't bother me. And that was probably because of my ET abductions. Think about that one, folks. Was it a trial study on asthma? Woo Riders. Yes, Christine, I remember it. They had me strapped down at the hospital. It wasn't a secret program, but it did have positive effects on me. Some negative, also more positive, though. Poor thing, that's a Christine, poor thing. That sounds scary. For a child, I had to take an asthma med. It made me hyper and then nausea. No sports advantage, though. Laugh out loud. Woo Riders eventually grew out of the asthma. Yeah. A couple of kids I knew that grew out of asthma. One that definitely didn't had it all, still does, has it all the way through adulthood. So yeah, it just depends on what they give you and what you do. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. We kind of hit a huge gambit of subjects, but we pretty much stayed within the ET realm. Trying to think of anything else. Any other questions you guys got? Because I'm literally, and I know I've gone over. Oh, blue Pleiadians, tall, skinny. I've seen them blue and I've seen them white. Blonde hair. Blue suits is what I should say. I remember the blue suits more than I remember really them. And the hair. Oh my God, the hair. Oh, that's the other thing. Some of these, Paramar of Joe Monk wants to talk about perky boobs more. Yes, I know. Anyway, oh, that sidelined me. That's funny. What else? Oh, the hair. Hair shaft. This is what I know about hair shaft regarding ET. Almost every. That's a tough question, Woo Riders. I gather you mean hit me up and say, do you, that's not what I meant. How do I phrase that? Put in the chat and tell me yes or no if you are specifically talking about psychically. Because I had not intended to do psychic work tonight, but it's not in the next month, actually, that we've got it's all the way up through May. Because a lot of different things are going to start really taking place. Big things. Yeah, just globally for all humanity. Well, anytime I approach this subject, okay, so the hair shafts, before I forget, the hair shafts are hollow. So black hair, ET black hair is hollow. it's like, okay, I don't know if you know this. I only found this out, in the last month and a half? Month to 2 months is how I'm going to say that. Moose hair is hollow. I'm like, excuse me? That's like ETs I know. How is that even possible? Their hair shaft is literally hollow. So for an ET, they can reflect light a very, very specific way and take energy in via their hair. Figure that one out. Oh, and I wonder where the writers of Avatar got that from. I'd be very curious because that's what that reminds me of. I was like, no way, and they are. The hair shaft is it's hollow. Human hair shaft is not hollow, not like this. This is very, very, very specific. The pigment is all on the outside. It doesn't permeate the core. It's very fascinating to me. What else? It's very possible Sasquatch might be like that, but I don't know that for sure. I haven't been told of it. Speaking of which, I had a Sasquatch experience coming back from the Arlington lavender farm. So that was really cool. We were watching you. We're really glad to see you outside. It was very much a lot of love and a lot of respect for them and from them to me. It was very nice. Wow. Okay, so I'll read that out loud in just a minute, Blue Riders. Okay, so Nikki, Blue Riders, Nikki, what do you see for humanity in the next month? Okay, this is not psychic. This is what I know. I mean, it's just what I know. I do not see yet a third world although we are building up to it, and that is concerning. The information I understand, and I get into trouble, I get shut down. I've been in chats, I've been in phone conversations, I've been on Skype calls, and anytime this subject is approached, less than 1 minute in, all electronics shut down. Gee, you think somebody doesn't want me talking about it? And it's usually somebody else that brings it up, and the conversation, the ball gets rolling, and wow. So I'm going to try to say this very carefully, Woo Writers, and for all others. Regarding the drones, be careful what you believe. Be careful in it's not ET, folks. There have been some video where you can actually see ET orbs shutting down certain items that start with the letter D. I'm not going to say it again. Try not to say it again. Because I don't want my channel shut down, and I don't want to mark, and I don't want that or be farther down in somebody's chat because of this stupid. It's not the subject matter that's stupid. It's okay. Let it go, Nikki. Anyway, so my point. You know how there's talk about reverse engineering things? Think about that. Think about who has the capabilities to do that. That's what I'm going to say. And oh my God, I'm getting an ear pitch. Whoo! Not just getting an ear pitch, my whole head is like almost on fire. Yeah, somebody didn't like me talking about that. But think about it. Think about how it's talked about regarding that subject, RE. I just said it. You figure out what RE stands for. It's R period E period. Hang on a second, guys. I'm getting nailed. Somebody's being an MFer. Don't make me track you, because I will, and you know I will. Yeah, I'm getting nailed with energy. Okay, so basically it has to do with that subject? Yes, I do. Thank you, Para. Thank you for saying it, because I'm not going to say it. Somebody's trying to do something, yeah. Because they're pissed I'm talking about it. Touch me again, and I will make you regret it. Right back to the source. Excuse me. I'm trying to protect myself. Well, that's interesting. They're dying down now. I'll go right back to the finger who pushed the button. Do you hear me? I know you do, because you're dying down. You're dialing down. I will take it right back to the originator. I'm not joking. Back off. And I will bring everything with me and everyone. Back off. I'm not putting up with this shit. Not anymore. I will fight. And you will lose. You're playing with the electronics. I don't have to play with electronics. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Wow. That was intense. And now I'm pissed. The Buddhists have something for that? Wow. Sorry, guys. I could have just shut it off and dealt with this privately, but no. You made this public. I'm going to make this public. So, I have an audience. I'm no longer alone. You really going to take me on? I'm not alone anymore. Thank you. You know who the thank you is to. Okay, that was interesting. It's been a while since they pulled that bullshit with me. Yeah, I do. Sorry, I got somebody talking to me at the sec. I got, and I'm not going to say who or what. Yeah. That was the government assets. Okay. That done. Yeah, okay. So, Para, do you ever protect yourself with the white light and such? Does that help in this type of situation? No. The white light in this kind of situation, there's something, it's different for me. They're using a very, very, very specific frequency. White light works really well with a number of other frequencies. It doesn't work with certain other things regarding the white light. I know people that'll disagree with me, but that is my take on it and my experience. Now, if I ask my angels, it's not a stupid thing. And I bring in, because I'll bring in the demon dogs. Don't F with me. I will bring in I call them demon dogs. I don't know what else to call them because that's what they remind me of. But they're not. They're not demon. But I will bring in every paranormal. I've got beings that are very loyal to me, and I make no bones about it, and they know it. Christine, are you okay, Nikki? I'll help you fight them off. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Can't say what I want to say publicly. But I can say this. I will protect me with everything I've got. And I will bring people. And by people, that could be spirits, that could be angels, that could be all kinds of paranormal. That can also be the ETs, because the ETs right now are very, very much on my side. especially the ones that are in hybridization programs. They will protect this physical body. And they will figure out who you are. Them you don't want to screw with. So, now that I've had that lovely little experience because they want me to shut my mouth over the drones, over the fact that they're reverse engineered, over the fact that they're global government, they're not ET. You did this. Now I'm going to speak. You see the color of my eyes shift? They changed from hazel to straight blue. I'm pissed. I'm like really pissed. You want to know where they're from? That's where they're from. Really not okay right now. I'm really angry. That's where they're from. Part of this is fear mongering. For whatever other reason, I don't know. I don't give two shits why they're doing it. Other than the fear mongering. I don't agree with the fear mongering. It's not okay. Now, this all stemmed from a question in my chat. What do I think is going to be taking place? I think there's a lot of fear mongering going on that's being done that is man-made, deliberate, conglomerate, corporate, government. I think it's unnecessary, and I think it's a setup for something else. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Whatever you want to do. But the fact that these MFers just used a direct energy weapon, frequency weapon on me again, you figure it out. I haven't been hit with one of those in quite some time. Why do you think that they would deliberately try to hit me with an energy weapon? Somebody in chat say it. Correct, Rue Riders. So, and the fact that they stopped because I said what I did and who I was going to bring with me, because I will call on every one of them. Every single one of them. Stop screwing with me. I'm done with your shit. Okay, Christine. Yes, correct, Rue Riders. I agree with that. He could see it. Amen to that one, Rue Riders. Prayers, positive healing, energy for everyone. Swords and shields for all, says Rue Riders. Right on. Oh, yes, Paramarv. At Christine, please wish your mom a very Merry Christmas for me. And me too. Tell her I said hello. Hello, folks in my chat. They've been real good to me. I appreciate them very much. And for all those who watch the replay and who are newbies to this, the reason why I got targeted was because I talked about a government book to the wrong person. And that MFer turned my name, and he's very well known in ufology too, folks. I can actually say that now. Very, very, very well known in ufology. That MFer turned my name over to the deep government. And that is why I get targeted. Because of that fucking book. You think the drones are bad? You really don't want me talking about that book. You do this again, I will let everything out. Everything. I'll even talk about the chapter that I said that I wouldn't. Don't do it again. Okay. Now, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Release the tension, release the fear, because don't let this fearmonger. No. Please, whatever you do, don't ever let this be a fearmonger situation, because fearmongering is bullshit, in my opinion. Oh, squeaky thing. There we go. So be good. 4 to 6 weeks ago, I mentioned a name in chat, and you had an adverse reaction. Is that the person? Say the name again. I don't remember. I want some Roo Riders. I want some eggnog. I haven't had any this holiday season. Is the holiday season? It's the holiday season. So hoop-de-doo and dickory-dock. He'll be coming down the chimney. Yes, he will be. For those who have kids. Yes. And when he does, I'm going to get his. Oh my God, Woo Riders. I did not need to know that. Jesus. Okay, Paramarv, say the name. Yes, that's the one. Thank you for not putting the entire name in. Now erase it, please. Please. Thank you, sir. Heartfelt, most appreciated. But yeah, I don't want that name in my, but I do appreciate you putting it in. Thank you. Most appreciated. Yes, I think you are. I'm not an eggnog fan, never have been. It's way too rich, too alcoholic-y for me, in the sense of it's no thank you. Barry Manilow? How does Barry Manilow fit into this? Andy Williams. Oh, yes. Movies, songs, and tunes. Andy Williams. Yeah, I love their old Christmas holiday music. It's really sweet. It's really, really good. Anyway. I just got somebody's asking me if I'm okay. Well, I'm better than I was. I'm not as angry. Just throwing out names, says Paramarv. I'm glad you did. Julia, long time no see, sweetie. Hi. How are you? Oh my God, it has been a long time. I listen to Delilah radio host and Christmas songs only during this time of year. Oh my God, I love Delilah. I haven't heard her in a number of years. I'm used to listening to her every time this year. I mean, used to listen still above ground. Good. I'm glad. Paris says I like Delilah. Yeah, I do too. It's not just her voice, it's her attitude and behavior and how she does her shows. Oh my God. I've listened to her for, I can't remember how long. Long time. She's just wonderful. Julia, I've been listening to old 1940s swing big band music. Nice. I love big band music. Paramarv, yep, she's a class act. Yes, she is a class act. Delilah really knows her stuff, truly. There's a couple of other ladies that I know that I really miss at Christmas that were in radio, and I'm really sad that they're not anymore because they are just phenomenal ladies for all. And we're talking big band swing era. We're talking alternative radio. We're talking all sorts of stuff. Holiday. Oh my God, just wonderful things. I miss them. I miss them big time. I rarely listen to the radio anymore. Very, very rare. Mostly because I hate advertising. But I might actually listen to Delilah even with advertising. That's saying something for me. Blue Riders, Delilah's been through a lot of tragedy of her life, and for her to stay positive speaks volumes. She has also adopted a lot of kids and saved them from tough living. Awesome. I did not know that. Oh, I may have years ago, but I couldn't have told you now because I used to listen to her weekly, regularly. But yeah, she's a pretty special lady, in my opinion anyway. And that's not from a psychic. That's just from an admirer, a listener. So, oh, over 10. Wow. Okay. Anyway, and now that we're dealing in a much more positive light, which Paramarv, you're part to thank for that one. I need to listen to some happy tunes. Change some of the frequency in me, which I highly recommend for those. Oh, once again, please like, share, and subscribe. This is an interesting one, folks. It's almost 3 hours and was only supposed to be an hour and a half. Get yourself to change your frequency. Here's one of the easy ways to do it. Listen to upbeat music. Find things that are funny. Even if it's short reels, things that you just very rarely find humorous, and then all of a sudden you're just in the right mood for it, and oh my God, ouchie, 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 ouchie. Okay, that is not from energy. Ouch, 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 ouch. That is sciatica. And that's typical body behavior. That has nothing to do with what happened earlier. I think I'm going to sing a Christmas playlist and put it on my channel. Awesome. I think you should, Woo Riders. Yeah, when both Woo Riders and I are on, it's going to be a longer show. Yes, it is, because you both ask questions. And you're very good at asking questions. So, Robert, it gets that way at times. Double the time. Yep. Robert, did you see... do you still go on Rift Radio Show? No. Sue hasn't had me on in a year, I think. I think it's been a year. They're doing different things. They're having other folks on and doing different shows and stuff, which is fine. It's kind of worked out for me in a couple of ways, but I still do, Julia, tailbone. There we go. I still do. Got a brain fart going again. Hang on 1 minute. Oh God, did I put in the chat? Somebody remind me if I put. Yes, I did. I did. Our Keith Andrews and Dave Scott. I also so for 4 years. Okay, so here's an answer to your question, Julia. I do. Oh God, why is this not showing up? Come on, I gotta wait for the little spinning bar. Okay, I'm just gonna put this in anyway. Copy. Hopefully this will actually go in. Yes, you did. I quit listening to the. Yeah. Yes, you did. Okay, thank you, Para. Okay, so that's where I'm at on Spreaker Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Pacific to midnight Pacific time. And we talk on Robert's in the show. Rosella, God, I finally got her name. Rosella C. Rowe, a professional psychic medium. She does readings daily. Is on the show. Cole and Kayla Wegleitner are on the show, and every once in a while, the kids are on the show. We talk a lot of different subject matters. Squeaker? Yeah, Squeaker. We talk a lot of different subjects on the show, and we're always off topic. We usually come back around, but there's a lot of conversation. So many different topics talked about. So, and if you want replays, here is where you can get the replay. You can get them on Spreaker, but if Spreaker has an issue, you can get them. Let's see if I can find Eric's show. 1 second. There's Keith. Where the hell is Eric? I did the same thing. Come on. Nope, that's mine. That's Erica Luke's. Oh, come on, Nikki. Come on. Do 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 da bum bum ba-dum ba-dum. Bum bum ba-dum boom. Where'd you go? Oh, for fudge's sakes. All right, I got to type you in here because apparently I'm not able to find it right now. Thank you. Oh, for doom-ba-doo-ba-doo boom boom. Wrong, Eric. Where the hell am I not finding you? There you are. Thank you. Finally. All right, here we go. And this is where the replay is at if you want to stay on YouTube. There we go. Paste. Boom. Okay. Christine. Okay, now I'm back. Sometimes our Keith too. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. I love the links. Yeah, you're welcome, sweetie. Para, when are you on that again? Next. Oh, I take it back. We are not. Oh, excuse me. Burp, burp, burp. I apologize. We are back. We're taking a Christmas break. Our last one was last night. We are taking a Christmas break, and we will be back Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. And the subject matter, as of right now, is resolutions, how they are made, the results, and what happens during the process and why they aren't kept. done. I mean, there's a lot of psychology in it. Out with the old, in with the new channels. Yeah. Yep. So it's the S4 bunker. But in Spreaker, if you're looking at Spreaker, type in the S-4 bunker. Look for it that way. It will pop up as the S4 paranormal bunker. If you're going on Spreaker, somebody's cooking onions, and I don't think it's here. Why am I smelling onions? Like grilled onions. Interesting. Anyway, so that is something. Okay, Woo Raiders. Yeah. Oh God, how did you manage to get that in here? Paramarv, that's impressive that you got Spaced Out Radio and you're not a mod. That is really impressive. Okay, so because those don't always show up like that. So when are you on again? Okay, so now if you're talking about me being on this show, next Wednesday is Christmas. Next Thursday is the day after. I am debating on whether I'm going to do that or not. If I do, it'll be at the same time. If I don't, then I will be on I gotta look at this. Nancy's got that off. So this is. So I would probably be on Friday night from 7 to 8. Only do an hour because I don't want to interfere with. And I didn't want to interfere with Dave's show, but it's just kind of how it's rolled tonight. But I don't want to. Lee and Jax, I love Lee Strauss's show and Jax's show, Element 115. They are really good people, folks. I highly recommend you go see them. They are on Spaced Out Radio on Friday nights, I believe at 8 o'clock. So if it comes down to it, I don't know, I might do 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. Right now I've got it scheduled in my phone for Thursday, but we'll have to wait and see how it is because I've got somebody in the house that's sick and I don't want to get sick. So we'll see how I do. So it's kind of a weird way to answer your question, Paramarv. Woo Riders, my cousin, and I'm not going to say his name, my cousin just texted me and said, thanks for the stream. I send him a list of certain channels, and sometimes he watches one of these times. I'm going to get him to write in chat. I would love to see him write in chat. I would love it. That would be awesome. Love to meet your cousin. Thank you. I hope they will upload to Spotify. I've not a clue. Oh, actually, at one point, I think it was up to Spotify because we were a radio station at one point. I focused really hard. Out with the old and with the new, I've resolved not to have any resolutions this year. That way I can avoid the disappointment. Para, I focused really hard. I see that. Christine, hi to Robert. Julia, I see the S4 Paranormal show. There's another. Yeah, there's a bunch of S4 shows. Okay, Julia, I meant what's the part of yours, the name under S4 paranormal? Okay, so you type in this. I'm going to put this in chat. Type in the S dash 4 bunker into Spreaker.com search engine. Then what? Then it'll pop up as the S4 bunker, but when you go to the page, it pops up. I'm trying not to make this confusing. I really apologize if I did. There we go. Yes. Para is asking, so last night's episode was called Season 5, Episode 22, A Very Haunted Christmas, correct? Yes. That's what Cole called it. Yes. And it was interesting. Okay, thanks, found it. Good. And there's so many different bizarre things in there that we talk about. It is, yeah, you're very welcome. It's wild. I mean, sometimes it's just a shoot in the breeze. Sometimes, but there's always really good information in one fashion or form. So we've got 2 groups of people in Washington State. We've got sometimes our Keith Andrews comes on the show, and he's in British Columbia, Canada. We've got Robert White, who is he's in Australia. Rosella, she's in Ohio. She's in the state of Ohio. Sometimes we have on a guest, sometimes not. Eric and Cole. I think Eric is the one who originated the S4 bunker. If memory correct, I might get nailed on this. I don't know. I can't remember. I think he was the one that originated. He backed out of it this year. There's too much going on within family and a bunch of other dynamics going on. And he's like, no, I gotta take some time away for right now. And so he did. And so I don't know if he's gonna come back or what's going on with that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times that we all have been in different sections of paranormal. There's 2 of us who are known abductees, well, 3 actually, depending upon which. Robert, me, and Keith are abductees. Robert talks about this periodically. There's you get every religion. Well, not every, but you get a number of different religions in that with different people. You get a lot of spirituality with it. We talk about realistic things. We'll talk about emergency stuff. When Eric was on, he was part of emergency management for his area. Big time, did classes, got degrees, or a degree, I can't remember. Anyway, so you go back through some of the old ones, it's really gets, I mean, we at some point in time, we were all part of paranormal teams. So you get a wide range, and then you've got our Keith Andrews, Nikki Jacobs, Rosella C. Rowe, Robert White, 4 psychics. So you get all of us, and we start, I mean, it just gets wild sometimes. And then sometimes we have a hard time hearing because we'll talk over each other, and we try really hard not to do that. but we have a lot of fun. We enjoy each other. Sometimes things get really wild, and sometimes things get angry. It's just like with any family. Um, and then you have other things go on. So that sounds exactly what 2025 people are looking for, learning how to raise their vibration. Yeah, I mean, there are different ways to raise vibrations, Julia. I mean, you know this. And there's so many different ways. And one of my ways that I love doing is just playing music and getting outside if I can, and or when I can. I mean, like getting outside and communing with nature. Putting your feet, if you're near the ocean, putting your feet in ocean water, because ocean water has I was going to say something else, but literally just told salinity to it. It has the ability to literally release negative energy out of the human body, and you can re-up and revamp your frequency. Yeah, you're right, Julia. I found just by being on a positive vibe draws others in. Yes, Epsom salts baths do too. Yes, Epsom salt and baking soda. I mean, those are the two most potent things that you can really do. So, wow, that is really strong onion. They're still around. Man, I'm not even trying. It's just, that's the first smell I've got right now. It's very strong. Music frequency, 40 hertz will really perk up the brain. If you have pain, look into binaural beats music. You got to do your own research. You got to be your own advocate, folks. So, find things that raise your frequency. Laughter. Oh my God, laughter is a huge one. Laughter, anything that's going to make you laugh. Even if you're really, really down and dragging, and I mean, just start scrolling through reels. You'll find something that's really funny to you at that given moment of time that may not be funny to you at all, ever. But for whatever reason, that given moment in time, that'll pick you up. It'll literally boost and raise your frequency. Talk to people. Let them know how you're feeling if you're not feeling okay. Figure out what works for you. You got to be, like I said, you got to be your own advocate. You got to do your own research. And on that note, I'm 3 hours and 17 minutes in. Yeah, there's a lot of things, and a lot of spirituality things too. Some people like to read, and that does it for them. But what really does it is activity in certain things, whether it's music, singing, being physically active, getting into nature, doing the Epsom salt bath, or soaks of foot soaks. Ask to hug a tree. Not a joke. Yeah, quartz crystals. I knew what you meant. And there's so many different levels and so many different levels and ways. So find something that works for you, folks. On that note, 3 hours 18, I'm done. Go back and listen to the replay if you've just come in and you want to know more about what we talked about. I don't know what next week is going to bring, but it's this week was certainly interesting. The week before that, I was hopping, so hello. And I got a slow internet right now because when I saw my face, my eyes did a slow roll, and I was like, oh, great. So it's time to go. It's way past time to go. Anyway, I wish you, if you celebrate Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. I wish you blessings, glad tidings. I do not know. I don't normally say glad tidings, but for whatever reason, somebody just said glad tidings. So I wish you joy and happiness, change in positive to positive frequency. I wish you love, lots of love and happiness and joy. If you don't have it, create it, build it in your life, work on it. It can be changed. I'm living proof of it. I am living proof of it. So, replay queen here. So I'm so glad to see you on. And I'm really glad to see you in my chat. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Really long time, actually. I don't remember seeing you in Sue's chat for a while. Yeah, I'm really tired of that subject too, Para. You're very welcome. Christine, thank you. Joy and peace. You look happier. Love and peace. I don't do holidays. I'm just here for others for prayer. I understand that. This is the first year in a long time I don't have any of my Christmas decorations up. That's almost unheard of for me. The only Christmas decoration I have up is my little angel. That's it. I got her up. So, and she's been up. She stays up. So she's my little crocheted thing that I was gifted a long time ago, and I treasure it. Anyway, I wish you love, peace, joy, happiness. Lots of good prayers. Lots of prayers for health and safety. And if you love somebody, tell them you love them, because truly life is very short and it's very difficult after they're gone. I mean, you can tell them, but you're not going to hear the response. So tell people you love them. Tell people that you're glad they're in your life. It makes a difference. Even putting a smile on when you're at a grocery store and you see somebody wearing a phenomenal t-shirt or a sweatshirt and it's got a great saying on it, say something to them. Love your sweatshirt. Love your t-shirt. Oh my God, that's a great saying. Oh, I completely agree. You know, there are times I see tennis shoes that I'm like, God, those are great tennis shoes. Simple as that. I mean, it can really, it can truly bring just even a brief moment of a smile to somebody's face. Smiling is a big deal too. Really is. It makes a change. It makes a difference in frequency and energy, and you want to raise that frequency and energy. No, not by a long shot, unfortunately. So Julia just asked if the reptilians are finally gone. Just a quick yes or no. No, they're not. No. Anyway, on different subjects. Peace be with you, my friends. Take good care of yourself. Have a very safe holiday, whichever holiday and whichever religion or spirituality you are. Take very good care. Bye, guys. And gals. Bye, guys and gals. Take care. Love and prayers all. Happy holidays. That's what I meant to say. Merry Christmas from me, because I celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Bye.